Okay, so my name is Mary Grace. I'm here at Yoga Oasis in Woodbury, New York, and I wanted to tell you a little story about my yoga journey. So let's see, I'm not sure exactly when I went to my first yoga class, but I do remember it was probably around November of 1999. Maybe it was October, because I remember I bought a 3-month membership after my first class, and at the end of my 3-month membership, I was going straight to my Bikram yoga certification. So I had 90 days of yoga under my belt when I decided, this is it, I'm gonna go be a yoga teacher. There was something about a Bikram class that had that intensity, that rhythm, that timing, that tempo, and for me, having a practice that was not just physical, something with the heat pushes you to your edge, and it makes you kind of awaken in a spiritual way, kind of like a sweat lodge. Maybe I was attracted to hot yoga in the first place because I had already done many sweat lodges with the Native Americans. I had done quite a few fire walks and all sorts of things that are kind of like waking up your consciousness. So when I found hot yoga, I was like, yes, it's not just physical. It's not just mental, it's not just emotional, it's not just spiritual, it's all of it wrapped in one, and allowing yourself to overcome your fears and face them every day. So I did 30 days of, 60 days of, actually 90 days of yoga, and then I went straight to my first Bikram certification. First time I met Bikram, believe it or not, I was in New York City at Jivamukti Yoga, which I really got into when I first got into yoga. And the elevator opened up one day and he was standing there, and I was totally shocked. I was starstruck. I was totally enamored by his amazing energy. And yeah, he certainly had something. So after I met him, I already knew at that point I was going to the Bikram certification. I already know I was going to go to that certification. So it was Y2K. I didn't know what I was going to do with my future, my life, where I was going, but I knew it was Y2K. I pulled my money out of the bank, counted how much I had, and it was exactly my tuition to the Bikram yoga training. So I got in my car. Actually, I don't know if I brought my car, but I think I flew out there and stayed with the group. So I want to talk a little bit about Bikram and my experience with Bikram. So I went into the Bikram yoga teacher training in January of 2000. We were still in Beverly Hills at the Wilshire Boulevard studio. It was beautiful. It was tiny. I mean, there was only 98 people in our training, maybe 100, maybe 99. And it was a small, intimate group, but we were, yes, jam-packed. Bikram was an interesting person to me. I thought he was kind of like what you call a megalomaniac with an inferiority complex. Definitely, for sure. He had great energy. I mean, if you think about what he's done for yoga all over the world, I mean, you gotta have some charisma to have been able to train thousands of people and open up over 1,000 studios across the world. Yeah, he certainly had charisma. Now I want to talk about something that happens when somebody has this kind of charisma and all these people are showing up wounded and broken. I was one of those people too, but I was in a very different place. When I was wounded and broken, I was ready to look within and work on my yoga practice. But there were other people in the training that just wanted to cling around Bikram, something I called the social butterflies, Bikram's little butterflies. They'd be brushing his hair and massaging his feet and rubbing his shoulders all class. And I guess maybe almost getting out of having to actually do the classes because they were doing that. Me, on the other hand, definitely confrontational a lot with Bikram. At that point, I was a radical vegan, and I don't know if you know about Bikram, but he's like a radical meat eater. So of course, a lot of times he would say, you know, eat junk food, live junk body, these kind of things. I don't know what to say, but I have an ability to look beyond the ego. I'll never forget one of the first classes I took with Bikram. It was before the Bikram teacher training. I was in LA, and he said something to a girl, and she just rolled up her mat and left. And afterwards, he said, listen, if I say something to you and it bothers you, you let me win. He said, if I say something to you and it doesn't bother you, then you are the winner of your own destiny. And at that point, I realized his little tactic, you know, to try to get under your skin. And if something bothers you, if something strikes a nerve that somebody says, well, obviously it's something to look at. So I kind of went out there on the first place just to learn to kind of toughen up my skin. I already knew that I had an ability to take things very personally, be very affected by other people's things that they say or do. So I went out to that Bikram training like, bring it on. I was going to take it all. I was sneaking into 3 classes a day, doing triples. I was only supposed to do doubles. I was sneaking into a 3rd class a day because I was like, I just didn't want to deal with the antics and the drama. Part of the drama, the antics, of course, is Bikram being the master of the universe. During that training, it wasn't as vigorous as others. I know I had 4 hours of sleep at night. We had 12 hours of training. We were sleep deprived, food deprived, and being stuffed in our head about how Bikram was the only yoga in the world. I'll never forget one class. I raised my hand and I said, Bikram, will you please share with me where your yoga is in the Yoga Sutras? Because he always said, I am the only yoga, the Yoga Sutra. So listen, I'm not somebody who's gonna fall for that shit. I had a great time learning from him. I had a great time experiencing the whole package. I wasn't going all in on a cult thing. I think Bikram is amazing. I also think the people that were sticking around him were definitely looking for something. And after watching the Bikram documentary, got a lot to say about that. Definitely a little bit one-sided, but there's definitely always been the guru and the girls, the lost girls looking for the light. You know, it's like the moths trying to swim into the light or fly to the light, and then they get sizzled by the light. I've learned not to fly into the light, but to allow the light to fly within, and to take the energy of these teachers and gurus. I wanted to share with you my picture. This is me and Bikram getting the certification during July or June of 2000. After that, I went and hung out with this guy. I don't know if you understand the dynamics of Pattabhi Jois. He was also known as Guru Copperfield. Another one that I got some incredible experiences with. Maybe yoga kind of gets people on the edge of sexuality and comfort in their own skin. I mean, we're practically naked in yoga classes. I've learned that we have to move beyond our egos, beyond the need of external sources to fill us up, but to allow our internal energy to rise above. So even though I've trained with both these people, right, and a lot of people have a lot to say about both of those teachers, I gotta tell you that it's just the way it's been since the beginning of time, and it's really all up to us to not let all the ego afflictions and distractions to get caught up in our own spiritual journey. So I take what I've learned from Bikram, I take what I've learned from Pattabhi Jois, I take what I've learned from Yogi Bhajan. I've also trained with him. I was given a name, Sat Darshan Kar. I've trained with Dharma for over 20 years. I've trained with Baron Baptiste. I did his certification, David Swenson. I mean, the list goes on and on about the people I've trained with. And what I want to just bring to you is the idea of the guru is all they're going to do to you is shine that light on you and say these words to you. G-U are you. So I invite you today as you go through your yoga practice to not get fixated on a type of practice. Don't get fixated on a type of teacher. Don't even get fixated on how you're supposed to be or how you're supposed to feel. Just enjoy the ever-flowing, ever-changing experience of being a spiritual being in a human body. So this is my message for you today. You are the teacher. Shine your light. Have a wonderful day today. Namaste, and may you enjoy all my videos. May you take it into your life, and may you shine the light within, honoring your own practice, being your own guru, being your own teacher. Of course, taking the wisdom of the ancients and allowing it to be part of your modern day. Namaste.